The sun had begun its slow descent behind the dense forest at the edge of town, casting long, golden rays through the mist that clung to the ground. It was one of those evenings when the air felt alive, carrying secrets in the rustling leaves, whispering to anyone willing to listen. In the quiet streets of the small suburban town, children's laughter echoed faintly, neighbors waved across fences, and life seemed predictable. But the illusion of safety is fragile, easily shattered in an instant. Officer Daniel Hayes had been on the force for more than a decade. He had seen emergencies, crime, and human cruelty, yet nothing had prepared him for the unexpected terror that awaited him that evening. His partner wasn't just another officer. Rex, his German shepherd, was more than a dog. Trained in search and rescue, protection, and detection, Rex had saved countless lives in the past 5 years. To Daniel, he was family, a confidant, a constant in a world often ruled by chaos. They patrolled the quiet streets, Rex's powerful paws hitting the asphalt in a rhythmic pattern Daniel had grown to rely on. But suddenly, the calm shattered. A scream pierced the air, high-pitched, desperate, horrifying. Daniel froze, heart pounding. Rex's ears perked, his body rigid, muscles coiled for action. The scream echoed again, this time layered with something wet, a sound that set Daniel's stomach twisting. Without hesitation, they ran toward the source. The forest loomed ahead, dark and ominous, shadows shifting among the trees. In a small clearing just beyond the edge of the woods, Daniel saw the boy. He couldn't have been more than 7 or 8. His small foot was caught in a cruel metal snare, hidden among the roots and undergrowth. Panic and pain contorted his face. His cries sliced through the evening air, urgent and terrifying. Rex moved first. With precision honed over years of training, he leapt into position between the boy and whatever dangers lurked in the shadows. Low, threatening growls rumbled from his throat. Daniel ran forward, kneeling beside the boy, trying to calm him while figuring out the best way to release the trap without causing further injury. The forest was alive with movement, unseen eyes tracking them. From the denser woods, a massive black bear emerged, drawn by the noise. Daniel froze. Its eyes glinted with hunger, its breath misting in the cooling air. In that instant, he realized that the danger was far from over. But Rex, instinct and courage merging seamlessly, positioned himself directly in front of the boy. Every muscle in his body coiled, eyes locked on the intruder, teeth bared. There was an intelligence there, a silent communication that this was a boundary that could not be crossed. Time slowed. Rex let out a guttural bark, echoing through the trees, commanding attention, warning the bear. The animal hesitated, assessing this unexpected challenge. Daniel seized the moment, working frantically to free the boy. The child's cries intensified, a mixture of pain and fear. Daniel's hands moved deftly, cutting the wires of the snare just enough to free the boy's trapped foot without harming him further. Rex remained steadfast, lunging forward to keep the bear at bay. His growls, sharp and relentless, forced the bear to retreat, but only temporarily. The forest was alive with tension. Daniel could feel his heart hammering, knowing that one wrong move could cost them dearly. The boy's tiny hands clung to him, trembling violently as tears streaked down his dirt-smeared face. "It hurts. It hurts," he sobbed. Daniel whispered reassurances, voice trembling with adrenaline and fear. "It's okay. You're safe. I've got you." The bear, frustrated and cautious, finally turned back into the forest, disappearing into the shadows. Daniel exhaled a long, shaky breath. Rex, though panting heavily, did not relax. His gaze swept the woods endlessly, ears twitching at the faintest sounds. Daniel approached and knelt beside him, running a hand down his thick fur. "You're amazing, Rex. Incredible," he murmured. The boy, finally free, hugged his leg, looking at the dog with awe and newfound trust. Soon, the boy's mother appeared, racing toward the clearing, panic written across her face. She collapsed beside her child, hugging him tightly, whispering frantic reassurances. "Oh, my baby, my poor baby," she cried. Daniel stood back, watching the reunion, feeling the weight of relief wash over him. But his eyes never left Rex, who still stood alert, scanning the forest, ready for any sign of danger. There was a gravity in his gaze that told Daniel the night's events were only the beginning. Back at the station later, Daniel couldn't shake the images from his mind. Rex had saved a life that evening, not because he had been commanded to, but because he understood the instinctive, silent language of danger and protection. Humans were often oblivious, blind to threats that lurked just beyond perception, yet Rex saw, understood, and acted. That bond between man and animal, forged in trust and courage, was extraordinary, almost sacred. Word of the rescue spread quickly through the town. The boy's family returned each day with gifts, hugs, endless gratitude. But Daniel noticed something subtle. Rex was more vigilant than ever, pacing the edges of the forest, alert to sounds no human could hear. He was a guardian, always scanning, always protecting, aware of dangers that humans might never comprehend. At night, Daniel often sat beside him, reflecting on the extraordinary bond they shared and the silent warnings that animals give. Rex had reminded him of the fragility of life and the sacrifices true heroes make, often without recognition. That evening had been more than a rescue. It had been a lesson, a glimpse into the wisdom and courage of creatures who see the world differently. And though Daniel could not yet foresee it, the story of that small boy, that brave German shepherd, and the dark forest would ripple far beyond their quiet town. It would touch everyone who heard it, a reminder that heroism sometimes walks on four legs, silent yet powerful, watching, warning, and protecting those who cannot protect themselves. Rex lay at Daniel's feet that night, ears twitching at distant noises. The forest seemed alive with secrets, shadows hiding threats still unseen. Daniel knew one thing with certainty: the events of that evening were only the beginning. And in a world where danger often lurks unnoticed, it is not always humans who must act first. It is those who watch, listen, and understand, like Rex, who often save lives when all else fails.